So here I am preparing to do, a couple of King of the Table predictions. And Georgie drops a bomb on us. Devon might be in a little bit of trouble.
Let's get savage.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Savage Arm Wrestling. So, here I am preparing to make my predictions. I had it all set up, I had it all planned out. I was thinking that how Devon's strategy is going to go round by round, and then here comes Georgie. So to cut the whole thing short, Hermes landed in Dubai, right? He hasn't had no sleep, hasn't had anything. And next thing, there's this little itty bitty clip at the end of his video of him meeting with Georgie. And Georgie says that all he's been training is the press.
Yeah.
You are very good now on the press like this.
Much better than before, yeah.
And I really started thinking of what I was predicting Devon's strategy to be. So, my King of the Table prediction for Devon Larratt versus Georgi Svetkov. So I predicted that it was going to be a 6-0. I believe that Devon was just going to be too much on the table, and it would be very similar to how Devon beat him left-handed. I dropped questions in Reddit, asking people if they thought Devon was going to go into a King's move. And I was kind of fishing for, seeing if I could find people with the similar answers. A lot of people think Devon was just going to run all over him. I do believe Devon's was going to be too much for Georgie, 100%. I just thought that to protect Devon would utilize a King's move to protect his hand, and the method that he's always stated, the art of retreat. To not lose too much, he would kick back, drop into a little bit of a King's move, and then use that to slowly bleed Georgie's hand. Round one. But if Georgie's been training a press, and Georgie can get him on his side of the table, I do see this being a little bit more difficult. Because if Georgie can transition to a press, Devon will have a harder time fighting both Georgie's outside and inside. So it's going to come down to what I believed before, round one. I believe round one that Georgie is going to hit hard to the side and try to take all of Devon's hand. Pronation, not all of Devon's pronation, all of Devon's cupping, and try to rip his whole entire hand back. Devon is going to kick back and rise as hard as he can and try to bleed the hand of Georgie. Well, obviously they're going to the strap. I don't even have to mention that they're both going to end up going to the strap. They're both top rollers. It's going to happen. Strategically, I believe this is the best route for Devon. Historically, Devon has had problems with posting top rollers. For example, Devon has always had a hard time with Travis Bagent and Marcio. They both, when they hit really hard backwards, cupping them to the side, posting, Devon has lost to them historically in the past, just that one movement. And obviously, Devon has had the history between Devon and Travis is, everybody knows about it. They're back and forth. But round one, I think that Georgie could take round one. But Georgie's going to lose so much taking round one that he's not going to be able to recover between the later rounds. As an example of what I would picture it as is much like Devon facing Monster Michael Todd at WAL. Devon took round one but blew his hand up so much that the later rounds, Monster Michael Todd was able to take him. And I think it's going to be very similar to this. Round 1, like I said, he's going to kick back, go up, go into the King's move. And I believe Georgie's going to transition into a press. And Georgie's going to get a victory after a grueling round on Georgie's hand. Round 2, I think it's going to be very similar, but this is where Georgie's hand's going to crack. And then Devon's going to pull him back and then pin him. Round 3, it's going to be even worse. Georgie's going to have almost nothing. Devon's going to take more of his pronation. He's going to drop into just more of an open top roll, vice dipping all the way into the King's move. And I think this is where he's just going to completely destroy Georgie's hand, and Georgie isn't going to have anything left. His hand just going to be back like nothing, and that'll just be the end of it. The rest of the rounds will just be Devon toying with Georgie, breaking Georgie, and making Georgie quit. So I am no longer believing it's going to be a 6-1. I'm leaning on a 5-1 Devon's victory. But I do think Georgie has a very good chance of taking round 1 if he can transition properly into the press. If he doesn't, then it's obviously going to be a 6-0, but I think that Georgie might be able to pull off at least one round, and it's going to be round 1. Let me know what you guys think, especially with the sudden news drop from Ermi's video that Georgie isn't going to be a one-trick pony anymore. He might have a little bit of a press. Do you think it's going to affect the outcome? Do you think it's going to be the deciding outcome? Or do you think Devon's still just going to run through him and it's just going to be 6-0 anyway? You guys let me know in the comments below. Stay savage.